Okay, I think to get things going, I'd like to ask each of you exactly what you do and how you got started in the industry. Mark, do you want to kick off?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my name's Mark Lambe. As I said, I'm the co-founder of Nevermind Games. So I suppose, start at the start. I went to IT Carlow in 2006 to do a degree in computer game development, which they still do down there. It's a pretty good course. Graduated from there in 2010. A few of us went to Scotland and we entered a competition called Dare to be Digital, which is sort of like a World Cup for game development. So we represented Ireland there. That's a 3-month-long development of a game. After that, came back to Ireland, worked freelancing for a while. After that, a few of us got together, set up Nevermind Games, which kind of operated all around the place for a while, and then eventually settled in Thurles, County Tipperary. We released one game for iOS, which is Troublesome, math-based puzzle game, and 2 games for the Windows Phone, Troublesome and Solar Sprint, with relative success. Then about 2 weeks ago, after a year and a half, 2 years, I left Nevermind Games, and I'm now back doing a postgrad as a student again. So that's, I suppose, a brief sum up of my history.
And what are you playing at the moment?
I have a tendency, when games come out, I never get a chance to play them because I'm always doing one thing or another. So I'm about a year behind the curve, and my copy of Dead Island actually arrived in the post yesterday. Nice. So I have it sitting kind of beside the mouse, and I've yet to actually play it, but it's sitting there. The last game I played, I just finished a rerun of Ocarina of Time on the 3DS.
Oh, nice.
To see what they did with it, yeah. Really, really good. And if they make Majora's Mask, I'll be incredibly happy.
Everyone should buy Ocarina of Time. And Jen, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, my name's Jen Carey. I done the same course as Mark, which is computer game development in IT Carlow. Then towards the end of 3rd year, we do an internship, and I done mine for a group called PlayFirst Games. They make iOS games, and afterwards they decided they wanted to keep me on. So I graduated a few weeks ago, and now I work as a quality assurance tester and an engineer for PlayFirst.
And what are you playing at the moment?
I have Halo 4, but I haven't started it yet.
Too busy. And Conor?
Hey, how's it going? I'm Conor Winders. I run a company called Redwind Software. We started in 2008 when the App Store launched. Myself and my best mate were kind of sitting down over a few pints one night and figured that it'd be fun to try and make a game. We'd been playing games all our lives but never made one before. No experience in the game industry at all, but figured it'd be worth a shot. So November 2008 our first game came out and actually did very well. It was a movie trivia game. Within a few months, a lot of other companies started coming to us looking to have games built. So we kind of built up the business over the next year or so while still working full-time jobs elsewhere, and picked up some big contracts. Like in the States, we do all of the mobile work for Heineken USA. We did the official Elvis Presley game and a few other things. Then over the next couple of years, we gradually started to become more full-time in Redwind and hire staff. Over the last 12 months, we've grown from just the 2 of us to a team of 7 full-time developers and designers now, and working on some much, much bigger titles. We had the #1 game in the App Store over the weekend in both Ireland and the UK with Deal or No Deal. So that was an official Deal or No Deal game with Paddy Power that allows you to bet real money through it as well. So it's quite an interesting place to be.
And what are you playing at the moment?
At home, I'm playing a lot of Halo 4. In the office, we've like a FIFA 13 league every week that I invariably either finish first or last. There's no middle ground for me. And then on the iPad, I'm really enjoying Ski Safari.
Ski Safari. Okay, so I have some questions for you guys. I just want a show of hands. If you could put your hands up for more than one thing, that's okay too. Any of you guys want to get into game programming? So you won't be punished for putting up your hand. We won't make you take a test or anything. Anyone want to get into games marketing? Games journalism? All right, there's one. Games design? Anything else to do with games?
Playing games?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, playing games. I'll just do, I think it's only fair for me to say, to go through what I made you guys go through. I write about games for the Irish Times, and I do a bit for RTE and for the odd international outlet like Games TM. I started off writing about other stuff and then started pitching game stories more and more, and then eventually I started doing weekly reviews for the Times. So that's me. Guys, what subjects or aptitudes or talents do you think are essential for leading to working in the games industry or playing games for a living? Mark, what do you think?
Subjects or aptitudes or talents. That's keeping it broad. I like
Nice and wide.
In terms of, I suppose it depends what you want to actually do in the games industry. I mean, you can be an accountant in the games industry if you really want. But I suppose if we're keeping to the core, game design and development, if you want to go into the course I did and be a software developer, then maths is important. Although in the Leaving Cert, I did the honours course and then did the past paper on the day, so you don't need to do honours maths. Physics would help, it's not vital. Again, it's only about 10% of the Leaving Cert physics course is actually useful, the mechanics type stuff. If you haven't done it, again, most people I was in college with, I think hadn't done physics, or maybe about 50-50. So there's nothing that I'd put down as vital, in the Leaving Cert that actually transfers straight over to game development. Maths and physics will help. If I know one or two people who'll argue that English is important for programming, because it defines your interpretation of syntax and stuff like that. So you might take that approach, but maths and physics would probably be the two best answers. But again, they're not vital. I did pass maths and I think honours physics, and there was some transfer over, but you'll pick it all up. First year in college is mostly running over the same stuff anyway. If you haven't done it, you'll just do the stuff that matters in first year in college. Don't know if you guys agree or disagree.
In my opinion, maths is quite important, but more so enjoying maths. That was kind of my favourite subject in school, was purely because I just like problem solving. I like the fact that with maths, at the end of it, there might be a couple of routes to go down, but at the end you're going to get something that's either right or wrong. And programming is very, very like that. And obviously I program for games, so programming is a big part of my day. But the problem solving element of it is absolutely massive, and it's so rewarding. So if you're somebody who enjoys maths and enjoys getting the right answer at the end of doing a particular piece of maths, then that's very, very important. And I think I love games. The reason I got into the games industry is because I love playing games. I spend far too much time playing them, and it seemed like a good idea to try and make one. And now basically that's my day every day, is playing games and making games, and absolutely love it. I didn't do any science subject at all for the Leaving Cert, so I can't really say how important they are, because I didn't do them. But problem solving, maths and a love of games for me are the key things.
Great. Jen?
Well, I've come sort of from the opposite side when it comes to maths, because I absolutely hate maths. But everything you need to know, even if you're not great at the maths, you can learn and put into the code. Everything's written down in front of you. You don't need to learn like formulae and that kind of stuff. It's given to you, so you don't need to worry about that. You do have to understand how everything comes together. You need to be a logical thinker. You need to see how different things influence each other. But yeah, that's all I can add.
Yeah, being a logical thinker is very, very important, actually.
An interest in business or accounting, do you think that would be relevant as well?
To be a software developer?
Yeah.
No, I don't think, if you did, it would, I suppose, no, I don't think it would help too much, to be honest.
What about yourself, Conor, as someone who runs his own business?
Yeah, so as our company has grown, my role is more and more on the business and accounting side of things, which is actually kind of unfortunate for me, because it's the part I like the least. I'd love to have somebody on board with us who's really interested in taking care of that side of the business. But if you do start your own company, it is kind of essential to have at least some kind of idea about that sort of thing. That the fact that if X amount of money comes in, that's how much you can spend. You can't spend more than that. That was about the extent of my interest in business. But as I say, as the business grows, that's my role has changed quite a lot, and I have to focus on that. So it is important, but certainly not a love of mine at all.
They are very different roles as well. I mean, you're doing both of them, so you're probably the best. And I was doing both of them for a long time, as being a programmer and running a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, there can be very little overlap, which is one of the most painful parts. But they are very, very different roles, and they require different skills.
Anyone here want to one day run their own business? One. Anyone here want to be rich one day?
Any plan as to how you're going to do that?
So what do you guys, you touched on it a little bit there, what do you guys like the most and like the least about your day-to-day work?
Let you start that one, Jen.
Okay. Well, the thing I like the most is going in and, well, really what I do programming-wise is I fix bugs. So someone will report an issue with the game, there's something broken, there's something misplaced, and I have to go find it in the code and fix that. And sometimes that is really, really, really interesting. You can go in and you can spend hours just trying to solve one problem, and it's so rewarding. And it's really interesting. The more you do, the more you learn, the more you need to know, and it's just constant learning every time you're doing stuff. The thing I dislike about my job is part of the quality assurance testing. It sounds like a lot of fun because basically you play a video game all day, but when you're playing the same video game for 6 months straight, you get a little bored.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the user feedback is definitely one of the nicest things, especially when you bring out a new release. So, as I said, the Deal or No Deal app that we brought out was #1 over the weekend. So, without giving exact figures, that's literally in 3 days, hundreds of thousands of people downloading a game that I made 95% of myself. Which in itself is very, very rewarding. But then when you see the reviews and the ratings coming in as well, when they're good, it's so gratifying as well. So we have in the UK and the Irish App Store at the moment a solid 5-star average across those hundreds of thousands of users, which is a really, really great feeling. I suppose the negative side of that then is when you get 1-star reviews and people telling you that your game is absolutely terrible, which certainly happens to us quite a lot as
I haven't done that, by the way. Okay, so there's routes apart from education to get to where you are. I myself was not that great in school, shocking as it might be to believe. So, and a lot of people working in the industry have degrees, studied IT, studied game design, art design, and a lot of people did not, don't have degrees, went straight from school, set up their own business, started working on their own apps. So apart from study, what do you guys think a young person could do to get their career kick-started?
I think one of the most important things we could mention, because I suppose one of the most important things you guys could get out of this is, something that's going to help in a career, which is probably why you're here. And I mean, if you do leave school and go and get a degree in game development, one of the best things about it is, if just say you go down the software development route, it's an incredibly popular thing at the moment. So there's a lot of companies in Ireland hiring software developers, not just in games. You've got big games companies here, you've got small games companies here. You've also got huge multinationals here hiring software developers. So if you do go and get that degree, it's incredibly transferable. And that's very important because you have a degree in something that's in demand at the moment. And if you look at the unemployment figures, that's one thing. But then you can look at the amount of companies that are hiring software developers, and they can't find enough of them, including multinationals. I had a quick look last night to check, and Microsoft are hiring programmers, and Google are as well. And that was just the first 2 people that came into my head, and I checked their jobs page. You know what I mean? So it's something that you will not be stuck for work. And the way the trends are going, that's not going to change in 5 years or whenever you come out of college. So a degree, I suppose, is you can do without a degree, but it's incredibly handy to have, and it will stand to you.
Well, although the game development degrees and the software degrees, they're really useful, but the thing is they all just teach you everything you need to know in one place. You can learn it all yourself. If you have the dedication to do it, if you learn a programming language, a scripting language, do something like Coder Dojo, which is a group that's set up to teach people how to program, make their own games. You do those kind of things yourself and set up a portfolio online, just give your link out to people, publish your own games in the App Store, because everyone can do that. And you can get the same kind of jobs. You can go into Microsoft with your portfolio of these 5 games that you made. If they're good enough, Microsoft will take you on without a degree. And also, you don't need necessarily a gaming degree. For things like design, sure, one of the designers in our company used to be a history teacher, and she just decided she wanted to make games one day, and she could. So it's just really dedication to what you're doing.
The makers of BioWare used to be doctors.
Doctors, yeah. Our chief designer at Nevermind Games was an architect.